The Chronicles of Akakor, the written history of the people of the Uga Lala, only begins after the departure of the former masters in the year 0. At that time, Ina, the first prince of the Uga Lala, commanded that all events be written down in good words, in clear script, and with due veneration for the former masters. But the history of the chosen servants reaches back further, into the golden age when the ancient fathers were still ruling the empire. Very few testimonies of this period have been preserved. The gods must have established a mighty empire where all the tribes fulfilled allotted tasks. The Uga Lala ranked highest. They were granted a wisdom that made them superior to all other peoples. In the year 0, the gods bequeathed their cities and temples to the chosen tribes. They have lasted 12,000 years. Few white barbarians have ever seen these monuments or the city of Akakor, my people's capital. White adventurers and settlers who discovered our capital have been imprisoned by my people. Akakor, the capital of the realm, was built 14,000 years ago by our forefathers under the guidance of the former masters. The name comes from them as well. Aka means fortress, and Kor means two. Akakor is the second fortress. Our priests also tell of the first fortress, Akanis. It was situated on a narrow isthmus in the country that is called Mexico, at the place where the two oceans touch. Akahim, the third fortress, is not mentioned in the Chronicle before the year 7315. Its history is closely linked to that of Akakor. Our capital is in a high valley in the mountains on the frontier between the countries called Peru and Brazil. It is protected on 3 sides by precipitous rocks. To the east, a gradually descending plain reaches as far as the liana wilderness of the great forest region. The whole city is surrounded by a high stone wall with 13 gates. They are so narrow that they give access only to one person at a time. The plain in the east is additionally guarded by stone watchtowers, where chosen warriors are always on the lookout for enemies. Akakor is laid out in rectangles. 2 intersecting main streets divide the city into 4 parts, corresponding to the 4 universal points of our gods. The great Temple of the Sun and a stone gate cut from a single block sit on a wide square in the center. The temple faces due east toward the rising sun and is decorated with symbolic images of our former masters. In each hand, a divine creature holds a staff topped by the head of a jaguar. The figure is crowned with a headdress of animal ornaments. The garments are decorated with similar pictures. A strange script that can only be interpreted by our priests tells of the foundation of the city. All stone cities that were built by our former masters, have such a gate. The most impressive building in Akakor is the great Temple of the Sun. Its outer walls are unadorned and are made from artfully hewn stones. The roof of the temple is open so that the rays of the rising sun can reach a golden mirror, which dates from the times of the former masters and is mounted at the front. Life-size stone figures flank both sides of the entrance to the temple. The interior walls are covered with reliefs, and a large stone chest sunk into the front wall of the temple are the first written laws of our former masters. Next to the great Temple of the Sun are the buildings for the priests and their servants, the palace of the prince, and the lodgings of the warriors. These buildings are rectangular in shape and are made from hewn stone blocks. They are roofed with a thick layer of grass supported by bamboo poles. At the time of our former master's reign, another 26 stone cities surrounded Akakor, and they are all mentioned in the Chronicle. The largest were Humbaya and Patite, in the country that is called Bolivia. Emin, on the lower reaches of the great river, and Kadira in the mountains of the country called Venezuela. But all these were completely destroyed in the first great catastrophe, 13 years after the departure of the gods. Apart from these mighty cities, the ancient fathers also erected 3 sacred temple complexes. Salazir, on the upper reaches of the great river Tiahuanacu, on the great lake, and Manoa, on the high plain in the south. These were the terrestrial residences of the former masters and forbidden ground to the Uga Mangulala. A giant pyramid was erected in the center, and a broad staircase led to the platform where the gods celebrated ceremonies unknown to us. The main building was surrounded by smaller pyramids interconnected by columns, and further away on artificially created hills stood other buildings decorated with glittering plates. In the light of the rising sun, the priests relate the cities of the gods seemed to be aflame. They radiated a mysterious light shining in the snowy mountains.